Welcome back, everyone, to After the Scales podcast, episode 64, presented by DJD Graphics. I'm Jacob Dove of Phenom Motorsports, along with Shaun Blight of Canadian Racing Tours. On today's episode, we have big block modified driver, the number 91 of Felix Roy out of Napierville, Quebec, Canada. Felix, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks to you guys for sending me that invite for the podcast. Pretty cool.
So you're just coming off last month. You ran a new Egypt, picking up a 9th place finish. You also ran earlier this year down here in Florida, where I'm at Volusia for the DirtCAR DirtCAR Nationals. Just talk to us about the start of the year.
I think it's the third year we go to Volusia, and it's the track I really struggle to race there. It's not my favorite track, but it's a nice trip to go. You know, it cuts the winter in half, and we made every show. I think there was like 45 cars, and we're able to go to every show. And and for New Egypt, it went a little bit better. We able to set good times and finish second in our heat race. Went to the redraw and starting 5th, but we were up to 4th, and we make the wrong choice on a tire compound, and we ended up 9th. It was a good racing, and looking forward for Can-Am in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about Can-Am. So you guys are right back at it next week, weather permitting. Hopefully the bad weather gets out of the way this weekend, because everything is getting canceled all around North America. So talk to us about Can-Am. What's that track like? What are you looking forward to in going there?
Oh man, I love Can-Am, and it's a nice smooth track, wide. I think it's half a mile track, if I'm not mistaken. And every time we went there, we did good. We finished 3rd in a small block series there, and I think we finished 9th on the tour race with the Super DirtCAR series last year too. So a nice track I'm getting familiar with, and love going there.
And this year, Felix, you're going to be focusing on running Friday nights weekly at Albany-Saratoga, New York. What's your thoughts going into that track? A lot of good competition stacked up against some good drivers.
Yeah, if I want to take that next step, if you can say it like that, I think I need to race more in a big block, because the only time I was actually racing a big block was with the series. So it was tough. But yeah, going Friday nights at Albany-Saratoga, it's nice. I love this track. We do good all the time we go there, mostly. So yeah, the tracks are super smooth and plenty of lane to race, and just the owners of the track and the promoters. I think it's Lyle. He's just super nice, and every time we go there, we're just we get a nice parking spot and everything. It's just a nice place.
That's awesome. So you've got some pretty high expectations for yourself this year. I was reading an article yesterday. You're aiming for a top 5 in points with Super DirtCAR. You had a solid year last year. You're the rookie of the year before. What do you need to do to take that next step? Is it mostly just qualifying, or is it a car setup, or a combination of that?
The first year was more to, learn the tracks we go, because it was mostly track we never been to. So making a little bit of a notebook, and second year we really struggled for the first half, like big time. And then second half, after, let's say, I think Drummondville, we really had a nice turnaround for a season. After that we were in the top 10 almost all the races at the end. And yeah, this year, starting here with a top 10, and yeah, I think we're 4th in the Super DirtCAR series, guys. So yeah, looking forward, and like you said, just growing that notebook, and I think it's going to be a good year. The track we go this year, we mostly know them now, and yeah.
And then other than horsepower, I'm curious to hear your thoughts about what the biggest difference you think between the 358 and the big block modified as far as handling and how the whole car setup goes.
Yeah, I mean it's big time different. The like you said, the power, but mostly the weight in the engine is the big difference, I think. And so when you go in the turn in a big block, it's really more heavy and tight, and as soon as you touch the throttle, you can feel the car just going up in the air and all that, and really got to control that throttle pedal, because if you don't, you're just not going to be fast. And small block is more momentum game, flat out around the track, and just yeah, when you hit that chip, you lift a bit and go back on it, depending on what track you race. But I usually was running Granby with the 358, so it's mostly flat out. So yeah.
So Felix, kind of going back to the start, there's such a talent pool, a strong talent pool of French Canadian drivers, yourself included. How did you get into racing? What was some of your local tracks that you got your start on?
Yeah, I mean, my dad used to race a lot. He raced a lot of asphalt and dirt and everything. And I just started running slingshots. I know they run that a lot in Pennsylvania at like Action Track USA and all these tracks. So we started slingshot. There was a class in Quebec, so that's what we did, and then moved to Sportsman 2 years after that. So first year in Sportsman, I was 14 and just running Granby weekly and Drummondville and RPM Speedway and all that. And we did 2 years in a Sportsman before moving in 358 modified racing at the same track, local tracks, but starting to travel a bit more. Went to the Fulton 200 and all that, and then 2 years ago we moved up to big modified racing, and yeah.
And Felix, we have a lot of different drivers of different disciplines on sprint car drivers, late models, big block modifieds, but I don't get to ask this question a lot. But what do you think the coolest part of being a race car driver is? Is it the traveling to different tracks, the race fans, the atmosphere, being able to have a competitive edge? Tell us your thoughts about that.
I mean, I think it's plenty of things, but I think the number one thing for me is just always how can I say that? Always like pushing yourself to be faster and more sharp in every race, and like you said, the fan is huge, and fan base in Quebec is nice, and I got fans in USA, and it's just super cool. Just you walk in the pits and you see someone wearing your shirt. That's awesome. And just the adrenaline too is really nice. When you feel that big block power is just insane, and there's nothing like that.
So I was going to bring it up later, but you touched on fans wearing your shirt. So you sent me your new design for this year with your shirts, and I want to bring them up, and you can talk about them. Who designs your shirts? Where do you get the ideas from them? And then where can people get them? Because I'll bring up the images now.
All right, yeah. So all my shirts are ASI Racewear. They're pretty much the main company for the Super DirtCAR series, and they do late model also with Tim McCready. But yeah, the idea, I was talking with my designer, and I wanted something like this. My nickname's Hollywood, and yeah, I figured it was a nice thing to do, like on the beach and stuff like that, and put the accomplishment we did last year on the shirt too, and just the fish was my idea. I think it was kind of cool, and yeah, it came out pretty good, and you can get them at the trailer. I don't have any website for now, but maybe soon. We don't know yet, but for now, it's just at the track, and yeah, so you can meet me at the same time, and I can sign it. So that's nice.
Yeah. When Shaun showed me the pictures of your merch and being, down here in Florida, and we do have a Hollywood, Florida, I thought that was a perfect theme. And I was like, man, Shaun, I got to get one of those shirts.
Yeah, I always try to do different on shirts. I know a lot of people do like the classic racing, with the name in the car, and all my shirt in the past were just different, and I think people like that, and I like that. So
Have
yeah.
you seen Matt Shepard in the pits wearing your shirt? Because that's one of the coolest things that he does. I see every time I see him, he's got a different one of his competitor shirts on. I think that's pretty cool.
I haven't seen him with my shirt on, but I know we traded shirt at Oswego. So he gave me one of his shirt, and I give him one of my shirts. So that's nice. We do that with the drivers. It's just a funny thing, and yeah.
And Shaun touched on it too, but back in 2023, Felix, you were voted the most popular driver. So how good is it feeling knowing that fans are resonating with you, cheering you on? Like you said, it's got to be pretty cool seeing somebody wearing your shirt in the pits or up in the grandstands.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that's a nice trophy we got there last year, and or 2 years in a row now. So that's awesome. I got, like I said, man, the fans in Quebec that follows me, it's just massive, and just when the series comes down to Drummondville, you can see it in the stands. It's just packed, But yeah, fans in U.S. too. I mean, they follow me on tour and Third Division and everything, and it's just nice to be their favorite, And it's just their third year on the tour, and that's massive, it's a trophy I really like, and yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to Drummondville yet. Jacob, I can't remember if it was on the podcast or if it was just me talking to him, but Jordan Poirier was telling me, like, you have to go to Drummondville because it's some of the most passionate fans, and every time you go there, it's just packed. So that's one track I've definitely got on my list of ones I've got to go to.
Yeah, that's definitely wild if you go to the Drummondville, like on big shows night, like Super DirtCAR Series or Sprint Car Racing. Is just there's people sitting on the ground just watching the racing because there's no more space in the grandstand. So, and just like during the intermission, they all come down and walk in the pits, and it's just massive, So it's really nice.
And being a young racer yourself, has there been any other competitors, veterans of the sport that have kind of taken you under their wing and given you any advice at the track or point out something like, hey, maybe you should try this when you're racing against your competitors?
Not really, but I got there's some people that help me out, the Bicknell, Matt Williamson, all these guys, they give me a hand on what to do a little bit and what to not to do, and all that. And yeah, I mean, mostly every driver help each other on tour, Not like they don't give you the whole setup, but just like hints on the gear and there and there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We figure out pretty much everything on our own. But my crew chief, Steve, just doing an awesome job, and yeah, so that's why we can actually be competitive and all that. So yeah.
So is big block modified racing for you, Felix? Like, is that the top level that you've strived for, or is there anything further that you want to accomplish with racing?
I mean, yeah, for now it's just what I love to do, and I think we're still, big time learning and all that. Maybe like if you just look at Stuart Friesen career, I think it's just an awesome career and maybe something I would go for if I would have the opportunity, racing truck, NASCAR, and racing dirt and all that. But just racing dirt, I love it. Matt Shepard and Matt Williamson and guys like Tim Fuller, Billy Decker, and all these guys just race dirt, and I think it's just a perfect career too. So we'll see what the future holds for us, and yeah. But for now, we gotta. Our whole team is set it up for big block modified racing, and that's what we're going for the next couple of years.
And every time we've had a big block modified driver on the podcast, I always ask them this because I'm really curious to know your opinion about the state of the sport of big block modified racing. Everybody knows it's regionalized to New York. And, what is your opinion as far as maybe growing the sport to reach new audiences?
Uh, yeah, like you said, it's mostly tracks are mostly in New York, but I think now we go to Quebec. I knew they stopped going to Quebec for a couple years, and they just came back. I think since 2 years ago, and I think that's what the series trying to do, expand. I know we're going to Sharon Speedway in I think it's July or something. So that's a long ride. That's like 12 hours from me. So I know they're trying to expand a little bit, but mostly the drivers all have a business or a job they needs to be. So it's tough for them to be there the week, but that's the game. And since it's on Dirt Vision and all that, I think that really helps with and people watching the race. You don't need to actually be there. You can watch it on live, and I think that helps too.
Yeah, if you've never been to Sharon and you like slick tracks, you're gonna get along well with Sharon Speedway because it's one of the slickest places that you'll race.
I love quick tracks, but I it's nice until it rubbers up. So,
Yeah, I know. I know.
yeah.
As far as growing the sport, Jacob obviously in Florida doesn't get to see you guys a whole lot, and we were at Charlotte at World Finals, and he walked away. I know he pays a lot more attention now because he really enjoyed watching them.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So before we let you go, Felix, we really appreciate your time. We've got our DJD Gear rapid fire segment. I've got 10 questions for you. Some of them are racing related, some of them aren't, just to have some fun with you before we let you go. So if you're ready, I'm going to fire them away.
All right, let's
All
bring
right.
it.
Why the number 91?
My dad used to race with the 90, so I picked 91.
All right. And what's your earliest memory at a racetrack?
Earliest? I'm not sure. Probably just watching my dad race, or racing go-karts, yeah.
All right. Who gave you the nickname Hollywood, and where did it come from?
So that's actually the brother of one of the guys that works for me. Give me the nickname Hollywood back when I was racing, when I was younger, because I was kind of, giving a good show, and yeah, that was just giving a good show on the track, and yeah.
All right. So your dad used to race. So maybe we'll aside from your dad, who were some of your racing heroes growing up?
Definitely. I used to really like Larry White when I was watching these races. Matt Shepard and Stuart Friesen and all these big names.
What's your favorite track to race at?
I'd say Jerome Granby.
All right. What's a track that the big blocks don't race at that you wish they did?
Jerome Granby too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So here's some non racing ones. So you're from Quebec. I love poutine. Are you a traditional poutine guy, or do you like to mix it up with different things in there?
It depends, but usually traditional.
All right. Who's your favorite all-time Montreal Canadiens player?
Carey Price.
Good one. And your favorite things to do away from the racetrack?
iRacing, yeah.
Okay, last one. So I've driven around and through Montreal several times. Can you tell me what is the actual speed limit on the highways around Montreal? Everyone seems to just do whatever they want.
It's 100 kilometers per hour. So in miles, it's probably like 70 miles or 65.
But nobody does 100, is what I'm saying.
No, we usually do 120.
Yeah, at least. I think the last time I drove through Montreal, I was doing 120 or 125, and I was like getting run over. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I better pick up the pace.
Yeah, there's always guys.
All right, man. We really appreciate having you on. It was great to finally meet you. I've been thinking about having you on for a long time. So looking forward to seeing you at the track. I think I'll be at Thunder Mountain next month if everything goes according to plan. So good luck next weekend and the rest of the year, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, all right. I'll be at Thunder Mountain. Thanks to you guys for inviting me on the podcast. And I just want to change an answer from earlier in the question. I exchanged the Big Block Modified. I want them to go at Gateway Dirt.
So that would be good. See, no one said that. Everybody has said Eldora, and I would love to see you guys at Eldora. But
they went there, I think.
Gateway.
Ago.
That would be good. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, I like that answer. They already got UMP modifieds. Let's add some big blocks.
We need the real modifieds though.
Right.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks to you guys again.
All right. Thanks again to Felix for joining us. That was a great conversation. Really like him. As we were recording that interview, I had some breaking news come across the After the Scales news desk here. Jacob Allen announced that he is going to be stepping away from racing effective immediately. So Jacob just got a quick chance to look at this statement before we recorded this segment. So Jacob is just had a baby. He had the health issues there not long ago too. So this decision to me doesn't come as much of a surprise. Maybe the timing does. But Jacob, let me know your thoughts.
Yeah, like you said, Shaun, you just had the baby, trying to focus on more on family. Last year, he ran full-time with High Limit. Seemed like he was enjoying what High Limit brought to the table as far as running that series, but didn't surprise me when he announced that he was stepping away from a touring series. But when he released the schedule as far as running this year, I was still surprised that he had almost 90 races throughout the country, running 360s and 410s. So I'm kind of surprised he didn't really make the decision earlier on. I know he was posting about being out on the road, living the life with his family. He spent almost 2 months down here in Florida. His first schedule was all running down here, 360 and 410. So comes as a surprise, but not really. I'm just glad that we don't see the 1A completely going away.
Yeah, Jacob's always been one of my favorite personalities with sprint car racing. It's good that he's still going to be around and helping out the team, but sprint car racing I think was kind of a better place with Jacob in it. He's just such a cool guy. Like you see him in the pits there at Eldora, just rocking sandals, and he's just one of the most chill guys you'll ever meet. So glad that Jacob can kind of walk away on his own terms, because not everyone gets to do that. So good on him for making that decision. So immediately the rumor mills are gonna pick up to see who is going to be in that car. Obviously they're running mostly PA stuff. Dylan Cisney would probably be one of the first guys you would think of that could jump in there right away. Not sure if you have anyone else that kind of comes to mind, but that's going to be a coveted seat for sure.
Yeah, and we even seen it when Jacobs stepped away and allowed Tanner Holmes to get an opportunity to see what he could do. And now we see Tanner in the Tarleton 21 car. So it'd be nice to see a guy like that, be able to get in the 1A and have a chance. With the schedule being in Pennsylvania, I would think it would be a local Pennsylvania driver to really get a chance in that top tier equipment. We've seen what Logan Schuchart can do. I'm sure it comes at a shock too for Logan, but I'm sure he has the utmost respect for Jacob, and they're all going to be working together, especially with Scruffy. He's a legend of the sport. I know I talked to Scruffy last year about that $1 million win with Schuchart and how much that impacted their race team. So they've always been innovators. They've done a lot with not a huge budget. We've seen how much Dryden's helped them raise them to be a full outlaw team. So we'll see what happens. I hope a good, deserving young driver coming out of Pennsylvania gets behind the wheel and see what they can do.
Yeah, I know Scruffy's phone will be blowing off the hook right now, probably with guys looking to fill that seat at least for some races. Sticking with sprint cars, another driver made an announcement earlier today as well. I wanted to bring this up because we had him on our show, and he's one of my favorite guests that we've had on, AJ Flick. Obviously, we've seen some photos of his car this year, does not have the Red Robin sponsorship on it. AJ's looking for some sponsorship help so he can run the All-Star Circuit of Champions this year. So if anyone out there, if you're a local Western Pennsylvania or Ohio-based business, especially if you're one of those, because you'd have a lot of opportunities, a lot of eyeballs on a competitive car that runs up front a lot, please reach out to AJ because he's looking for some help, and that's a really good car and a really good guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, AJ's a great competitor. He's very successful. He wins a lot. Every year he's in the double-digit column. So you're definitely going to be getting your business, a lot of eyeballs, especially in Victory Lane. He has a bright-looking car with those, neon and red and blue colors. So I think any person's business or company would look great on his car. So definitely reach out to him, and also support people who support racing. If you go to the racetrack and you see these guys with their logos and sponsors on their cars and race suits, make sure to ask them, like, hey, what's that business do, and maybe I can support it. Definitely goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure. If you're listening to the audio portion of this podcast, I just posted AJ Flick's statement. You can go to his Facebook page, AJ Flick Racing, if you want to get in touch. He's also on Twitter quite a bit too, or X, whatever we're calling it. So you can find him. He's a very awesome guy to chat with. So he would appreciate anyone who wants to chip in anything that they can. So there's no racing this weekend. I was supposed to go to Atomic. It's been canceled. High Limit's been canceled. The World of Outlaws sprint cars have been canceled, or rescheduled, I should say. They've been rescheduled till October. So I don't know what there is to watch. Hunt the Front. Hopefully we can cheer on Ricky Weiss, and Spencer Hughes is heading there too, I'm pretty sure. So unless you got something else in mind, Jacob, it's going to be a lonely weekend for race fans.
Yeah, I'm thinking about bringing out my little diecast collection when I was a kid and some cars around in the dirt outside in the yard. But yeah, I don't know what we're going to have to do with ourselves. I know there's some other sports going on, but yeah, this no racing really sucks. I was really looking forward to all the racing that was going to be going on. But yeah, keeping our fingers crossed for East Alabama. I know there's a lot of bad weather coming in the area, especially a lot of people that we know. So thoughts go out to them. Hopefully they stay safe from all what Mother Nature's throwing at them.
Yeah, it was looking pretty scary there in the Midwest. So if you're in the path of that, stay safe. There's more important things than racing, believe it or not. But yeah, so we'll take our rain up here and our snow mix or whatever. But I've never experienced any kind of tornado or anything like that, and I don't really want to. So if you're in the path of that, be safe. With all the cancellations that are happening this weekend, we may have another episode coming at you this week. If not, we'll catch up with you next week.
After the Scales is proudly presented by DJD Graphics. From commercial and personal vehicles to racing bikes and cars of all makes, models, and disciplines, DJD Graphics can fully customize your vehicle to suit your needs. For more information, contact Darren and visit his website at www.djdgraphics.com. Tell him Shaun and Jacob sent you to receive special rates.